are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
Yes, sir. Up Tempo Gang, Auburn family, man. Good evening, Dustin Smith. I'm riding solo tonight, guys. Riding solo. Blake had a family emergency come up. We hope that everything is well there. But yeah, man, y'all see the topic tonight. We're going to get here and talk about what the Auburn Tigers can work on during the bye week. What can we do? We got 6 games left. Auburn's going to have to go 4-2 down the stretch if they want to make a bowl game. Going to be a tall task. You got 2 big road games coming up in Missouri and Kentucky. We just watched Missouri get blown outright, so you feel like it's a game that Auburn could win if everything goes well. Kentucky definitely they beat a good Ole Miss team. They played Georgia close and lost by a point, so that's going to be a tough matchup for Auburn, but not one that I feel like it's impossible for Auburn to win. So we all see some positive things out there on the field. We know that this Auburn team is not the 2-4 is not indicative of what this team is, right? Ultimately, I guess you can make the argument you are what your record is, but we see a lot of things improving. There's a lot of things that Auburn is doing well out there on the field. Just got to figure out how to win ball games, man. And before I get too far down the road into the X's and O's and what I think Auburn can work on these final 6 games and kind of tinker with in the bye week, let's just start with the mental, bro. Like, to me, it's really above the shoulders for Auburn right now. If you go through and look at the box scores to these games, if you outside that turnover margin, right? You look at the yardage and everything like that. This is the best Auburn offense that we've seen in a long time. The output overall over a 4-quarter span is more than we've seen, and still just not finding a way to win games. Auburn's offense, top 50. Auburn's defense, top 50. Been a while. So both sides of the ball are doing some good things, yet Auburn's 2-4. And it's been talked about ad nauseum, and I think it all kind of starts, if you remember back when Auburn lost to Yale in basketball, and Jake Crane went super viral by saying, like, it's just something at Auburn right now, man, where we just can't finish out any kind of tight game. Whether it be baseball, basketball, football, just in those big moments, Auburn can't get it done. And I think there's some of that going on for sure. I mean, me and Blake have talked about that a lot here, right? Definitely some bad mojo going around the plains. But for this year's football team specifically, I just think they're pressing, y'all. I just think they're pressing. I think that they are okay in the second quarter on a 2nd and 6, Big gain of 30. And everybody does their job. But when it gets down to that 4th quarter and you got to have it, whether it be the final play or the first play of the 4th quarter, we'll definitely later in the week. I want to wait till Blake's here to really get into what Peyton Thorne said today on the Next Round Live. I might speak on it shortly at the end, but I was going to play the clip and really talk about it. We'll wait till Thursday when Blake gets back on to really kind of dive into what Peyton Thorne said today. But if you just go back and look into that play versus Georgia, the fourth down play to start the 4th quarter there, that's just what it is, right? Like, that's what it's been all season for Auburn. The Oklahoma pick 6, like that was a 3rd down. It was a 3rd down. You kind of felt the momentum. Oklahoma had just scored, and everyone was starting to go, one-score game. Is Auburn going to fall apart? You had just had a bad drive before where you had thrown the ball 2 straight times and resulted in the punt, and it just kind of, you could just see it happening. And then it gets to that 3rd down and 4 situation. And Auburn presses, and Auburn throws a pick 6. And it's the same old story this year for this team. And if you guys remember, after the Oklahoma game, I read off the Hugh Freeze quote where he talked about it just feels like we have to be perfect all the time. And in those moments, we kind of clamp up and make the wrong decisions, or we do the wrong thing because we feel the pressure. That's got to stop. That's got to stop. And that might be easy for me to say sitting in Pensacola, Florida, watching the game on my couch. But Vanderbilt wasn't pressing Saturday. Diego Pavia let his hair down and he played football, son. And that's what Auburn's got to do. Cam Coleman's better than this. But he's pressing. He's pressing. He's had a couple bad games. He had a bad drop that led to a pick, and he hasn't been right since. Now he can't even get in there and block, which makes no sense to me. And that's an effort thing. But this team, man, in these tight moments, you can look at them and tell. A lot of y'all go to the games, you feel it in the stadium. It's like the weight of the whole Auburn program. We got to make this play. You're going to keep failing. You're going to keep failing if you keep pressing, period. That's got to stop, and it's got to stop this week. You're 2-4. So play like a 2-4 team mentally. You got nothing to lose. If you come out and lose in Missouri, they go to UMass this week, which is a really weird trip for Missouri. They go out there, and they're going to blow UMass out. They're going to be 5-1 and be ranked. And I still think they're frauds. Like Missouri, they'll be ranked and they'll be ranked higher than they should be. And I believe that over the 12 game, over the season, when we get to the end of this 12 games, you're gonna look back at Missouri and say, "All right, bro, 8-4 or something." I'm not saying they're frauds. I'm saying they're a good team, but they're not the team that we thought Missouri would be. Right? I mean, they were a top 10 team this weekend, and A&M blew them out. But I say all that to say, like, you're gonna be on the road as the 2-4 team versus a 5-1 team that's ranked. They'll be at least ranked in the top 20. No one's going to be expecting you to win. Auburn will probably be 9 to 10 point underdogs, maybe more than that. Maybe I'm being a little homer with that take. But you're going to be the underdog. And so what do you have to lose, man? Nothing. Come out there and play football. If you lose, you're 2-5. The season's already shot, right? Come out here and play, man. Come out here and play. Quit pressing. Auburn has got to stop in these clutch moments worrying about, well, what happens if it goes wrong? Stop worrying about that and just play. Just play football. It's bad. We all see it. We see the head coach talking about it. We see the players. They've all said, when we get in these moments. Jarquez said it perfectly Saturday. He said Auburn beats Auburn. Auburn beats Auburn. And that you got to stop. And I think the bye week is a good time. Maybe and everybody's different, right? Maybe some of these guys, I know it's stressful, Auburn fans, the SEC fan base is always going to be demanding, and you have a whole lot of responsibility, and you're out there in front of 90,000 people, and you're not performing, and you're being talked about on social media and all this kind of stuff, and you go around town, and everybody's talking about you. You're 2-4, and it's not what it's supposed to be, blah, 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 blah. We know the town runs off the football team, right? So it's a lot of pressure. So maybe some of these guys need to decompress this week. Take a step back. Get away from football. I don't know. Go fishing. Go bowling. Go hunting. Whatever it is you like to do. Maybe take a couple of days away and just decompress. Because this football team looks stressed out. They look tight. They look wound up. They look like they press at the worst times. And the Vanderbilt example, to me, is a perfect example of a team that came out, never pressed. Even when that game got tight, Bama scored. What Vanderbilt do? Right back and made it a double-digit game. Tell me you weren't watching that game thinking, okay, here comes Bama. Here we go. They're about to stomp the foot down. Bama defeats Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia doesn't care. He don't give a damn. Everything that Peyton Thorne lacks, Diego Pavia has in abundance. Everything you want our captain and Peyton Thorne to have, Diego Pavia has it. And it's infectious. And you saw a whole team believing in what they were trying to do. Not worried. Oh, if we lose to Alabama, we lose. And that doesn't mean that they're not trying to win. But it's just, you could just tell something was different about the Commodores on Saturday. And I think it's because they got guys that got juice. They got guys that aren't scared of the moment, that want the moment. You've got to invite it. I know I've told the story a couple of times on this podcast, but it's been a while and we got a lot of new subs. By the way, sub if you haven't, right here, baby. We're like 70 away from 2,000. I was at a Lakers game. The Lakers were playing the New Orleans. The Pelicans now they were the Hornets, and I had my Kobe stuff on. Big Kobe Bryant fan, right? And didn't even like the Lakers. Just big Kobe guy. And the Hornets were up the whole game. This was the year when Dwight Howard was on the Lakers. Steve Nash was there. They got hurt. It was a really bad year for the Lakers, and Kobe carried them to the playoffs. And this was a game the Lakers had to have. It was like the end of the season. They had to get this. They were like flirting around the 8 seed, 7 seed, 9 seed. Like they could miss if they lost some games. And Kobe was just trying to drag this team in. And the Lakers were down by 16 at the start of the fourth. The fourth quarter starts. Kobe steals the inbound, hits a three, comes down, gets a stop, gets the rebound, comes down, hits another three. He looks at the Hornet sideline and says, "Not tonight." I heard it clear as day. I was sitting right there. He said, "Not tonight." And you felt it in the whole building. Everyone knew. The Hornets fans around me were like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. And that lead slowly whittled down. Mama mentality. You knew it was coming. When 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, I just sat back and laughed and said, I'm about to see something special. And he did them. He did them up. Posted them up on the block, dunking, hitting threes, Kobe stuff, right? He actually tore his Achilles like a week later in Golden State. So I feel very blessed to see like one of the last times he was able to dig down and do that. His last game, he did it. His last game ever. But yeah, man. So I use that example a lot because it was just, you could feel it. You knew it. Everyone believed it. And I know Kobe's an all-time great, not just basketball player, but athlete. And that's like an extreme example. But I'm just saying that's the mindset you have to have. Like Diego Pavia is not a Kobe Bryant level athlete, right? But he had that mindset Saturday. Not scared. I'm not worried about this. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Where are the Auburn players that want the ball in the clutch? Where y'all at, bro? Where y'all at? It's no upperclassmen. I haven't seen an upperclassman yet. I mean, Keandre Lambert-Smith. Pardon me. Balling. Absolutely balling. But he's a first-year guy. I'm looking more at the guys that have been here a while. But some of you guys, man, y'all got to step up and be leaders. Rivaldo Fairweather, where you at, buddy? I love what you said in the postgame of the Music City Bowl. Where you at? Big moment comes up, I don't see you. Big drive, I don't see you. Where we at? Cam Coleman. True freshman or not, buddy, you're the most talented receiver that's ever stepped foot on the Plains. It's time to go. Stop pressing. Stop pressing. Sure, this hasn't been the first the start to your Auburn career you wanted. There's only one way to change it. And that's how I'll round out this point here before I get to some of you guys' comments. There's only one way to change this, man. And you just got to make the play. If you ever shot basketball in the gym, you try to shoot free throws and you miss like 7 in a row. Don't you take the ball, you just walk up and lay it up? Just got to see the ball go through the hoop. But then you walk back to the free throw line, start shooting again. You just got to see it go through the hoop. Auburn's got to see the ball go through the hoop, man. Somebody has got to make a play. And I'm here to tell y'all, I think Auburn will be in a tight game in Missouri next Saturday. I think it'll be a close game in the fourth quarter. Who wants to flip the script? Yeah, they wore the stupid-looking hats with Auburn upside down. We're flipping the script. The time for talking's over, bro. I'm tired of Auburn talking. And y'all are too. Stop talking and do something. Make something happen. Enough is enough. But y'all are pressing like the Super Bowl's on the line or something. Brother, we ain't had a winning season to go on all this. It's going to be the 4th year if it keeps going this way. Stop. Calm down. Take a deep breath. Let your hair down. Play football. This is the moment. I used this example last week. You never, when you were in the backyard, when you were a little kid, 9, 10 years old, you and your buddies, Were y'all ever like, all right, second quarter, 2nd and 7, we got to get the first down. Let's go. No, it's fourth quarter. Game's on the line. The crowd's going nuts, and you dive into the end zone and win the game. It's every kid's dream. And these guys are getting the opportunity to live it out. And they're playing scared. And they're acting scared. And you can break down all the film you want. You can get into all the X's and O's. And Lord knows I understand that that is really what ultimately wins games. But in these big moments, the Auburn Tigers have got to find a way to quit worrying about the moment and embrace it. And I think that if we can do that, and I think they'll have another opportunity Saturday. And you guys that are longtime listeners know I preached this the whole offseason. And what happened? The moment came up versus Cal, we fell short. The same moment came up versus Arkansas, we fell short. Had it in the bag versus Oklahoma and fell short. What a stumble that was. I mean, of all the Auburn losses that we've had to put up with as a fan base over the last decade, that one, brutal. You had it. You had the opportunity. You're going to have more. You're going to have more. And if this program wants to turn the corner, they're going to have to find a way to win a close game. And I truly believe that if Auburn finds a way to get it done next Saturday in a tight game. Now, if Auburn blows Missouri out or gets blown out, then this point, is nothing. But I think we all could agree Auburn will be in some more close games before the end of the season, right? Like we can all agree to that. Get over the hump. Just find a way. Stop with the excuses. Stop coming on Tiger Talk or stop going on Next Round Live. Stop sitting up on the press conference on Monday and explaining. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore about the why. I don't even care. I just want to see it stop. And I just want to see y'all act like Division I athletes. Act like that AU was on the side of your helmet. Get some damn pride in the program again. We'll see. We'll see. It's up to them. And the only way to remedy this problem is to make the play when the next opportunity it comes. That's the only way. There's nothing that you can draw up to fix this issue. You can't come up with a play to fix that issue. You will face the moment again. And when you do, how do you respond? I'm going to get to some of you guys' comments before I get on and tell you what I do think a little bit of X's and those things that I think that could help Auburn along the way. You guys bear with me as I get through here. Miss Crotchfeld is in the building. Still supporting. We appreciate you. Hey, hope fall ball is going well with Zach. And good luck to him out there in Lubbock this year. Tim the Toolman Taylor says, up MF and tempo. I appreciate you, Tim. What's up, buddy? Fire Free says, what should they work on? 4-man rush on passing plays. Definitely will keep this one starred, brother, and bring it back up in just a moment. I do agree with you there. My guy Jacob is here. Jacob says, War Damn Eagle, it's been easier to make the live shows while at home with the bum shoulder. Jacob was racing the kids, I think he said, right, Jacob, and got hurt the shoulder. So sorry, buddy. Definitely been there. Just now kind of getting back right with the elbow. I understand when you get in those 30s. You get a little more clumsy and things start hurting a little bit more and all that. So I hope, I wish you the best, brother. DM me if you need anything. I'm always here for you. And I definitely know that struggle. Tiffany B says, War Damn Eagle, y'all. Thank you for being here, Tiffany. Jacob having the surgery next month or next Thursday, and we'll be out for 3 to 4 months. So pray for Jacob, man. And real quick, I know we got a lot of listeners down there in the South Florida, Central Florida, Tampa area. It's my favorite city in the world, man. I visit it every year. I love Tampa. I got a lot of friends down there. I hope you all stay safe, bro. Please stay safe. My heart goes out to y'all. It's going to be a bad one. There's really no other way around it. Definitely lived in Florida my whole life, so I know that struggle. I know that struggle months on end without power and all that. It's tough. It's tough. Big shout out to our guy Mike, man. Mike Waltman, an up-tempo member. He's been down there in Tampa the last couple of weeks helping everybody out, cleaning up the debris. And that's the tough part. They're down there cleaning up debris, and they got another one coming through. So right now they're trying to get the debris out of the way, it's a whole mess, man. So I love the city of Tampa. I love that whole area. Man, my heart goes out to you guys for sure. Let's see. Brad Browning is in the building. Appreciate you always being here, big dog, with the War Eagle. And you see right there, guys. You see. Follow me if you. A lot of y'all are following me on Twitter. Follow me over at the War Report _SEC as well. I am now hosting the SEC Just a Sec pod here at the War Report Network. So expanding out. Nothing's changing here with the up tempo, but I'm doing some more SEC content. And we got a pack slate this week. That Ole Miss LSU game, I'm telling y'all, that thing, beautiful, beautiful. Recapping last week's wild weekend. Got a lot of SEC content coming out over there. So appreciate y'all, man. If you go over there, subscribe to the channel. And if you just want to hear more than just Auburn. All right, Madison, thank you for being here with the War Damn Eagle. All right, guys, smash that like button, sub to the channel. I do appreciate you being here and helping me out running solo tonight. Again, I know that Peyton Thorne's comments, if you're just getting in here, were pretty freaking wild. They were pretty wild. We're going to touch on that a little bit later in the week. I do want to have Blake here for that. Moving forward, I'm going to start on the offense. I actually thought that the game plan Saturday was solid. I know that it was definitely conservative. It definitely shrunk the clock down. Not the up tempo, slinging the ball all over the place that we've seen from Hugh Freeze, and but no turnovers. No turnovers. And I think that if you take that same game plan on the road to Missouri, again, I think you're going to find yourself in a close game in the fourth quarter with a chance to win. I think that might be the move just going forward. With the quarterback situation that you have, it's you're just gonna have to do what you can with this, you know. You have a quarterback now that you can't really trust to not even change the plays on fourth down. We all screamed, "Give the ball to Jarquez on these key short to go moments," right? And Hugh calls a play for Jarquez, and then Peyton says, "I'm not running that play. I got my old play. Watch this." And y'all saw what happened. He got stuffed. So it just kind of is what it is. I mean, you got 6 games left. Do you go to Hank Brown after what happened with that? And again, we'll talk about this more Thursday. I wouldn't necessarily be mad at it at this point. I still think that Peyton gives you the best chance to win some games for the rest of the season. But he also can't be trusted in clutch moments. So I'm not like dying on the Peyton Thornhill, right? Like whatever. If you got to go to a guy who will at least do what the coaches say, then in Hank Brown, then do that. I do think that Peyton's ability to use his legs is kind of giving this offense a little bit of a boost. And since he's come in the second half of the Arkansas game, you've got the one turnover. That turnover cost us the game, right? And he made some other bad decisions along the way. So again, I'm not even defending PT at this point. I'm just trying to look at it logically and figure out how can Auburn somehow get to 6 wins. I still think that like Peyton Thorne's the best chance to do that, but maybe not anymore. You know, maybe not after what was said today and what he decided to do on that fourth down. But even if it's Hank Brown, then you shorten the playbook down, you shrink the playbook down, and you shorten the game. You snap the ball with less than 10 seconds on the play clock. You feed Jarquez. We haven't seen Damari fumble since the Arkansas game, so let's, he's so good that let's keep giving Damari the ball. If he fumbles again, okay, then you eventually got to throw your hands up with it, and we've seen that happen before. Boobie Whitlow, good running back. Mario Fannin, good running back. They couldn't hold on to the ball. They had to go. They were off the field. Mario got moved to like a fullback role and that kind of thing. And he was really dynamic with the ball in his hands, but he was dangerous with the ball in his hands as well. The ball might come out of there. So for me, I just feel like just leaning on the running game, which I think Hugh Freeze did. I know a lot of people are saying, well, look at Jarquez's carries in the fourth quarter. Well, if you look at it, you come out in the fourth quarter, the first play was the fourth down play, right? And he called a run play to Jarquez on a key down like we all been bitching about. And then the quarterback changed the play. So right there, Hugh called a running play that didn't take place. Then what happens? Georgia's on the 44-yard line. They go right down, bang, 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 and score, which is why I said I wish we would have punted the ball because I just don't trust us to make the right play in that time. But nevertheless, so they go down and score, and then you're down 18. So, like, you're down 18 at the start of the fourth. You're going to keep pounding the rock to Jarquez, and they still threw a swing pass to Jarquez. Like, they still did some things to get him the ball, but when you're down 18 in the fourth quarter, the carries to the running backs kind of will go away, and that's what happened. But while the game was still in hand, even down 11 points, Hugh Freeze was trying to run the football and establish a run. And if you look at how that second half started, for as disastrous as the first half ended, the second half, Auburn gets a 3 and out because we can kind of bank on Charles Kelly and DJ Durkin getting in there, the whole entire defensive staff getting in there and making the halftime adjustments. I think we can kind of believe in them at that point. They've proven to us they'll do that. So they get in there, they make the adjustments, you get the 3 and out stop, and then you come out and you run the rock. And Jarquez is a 35-yard touchdown run. So I think that Hugh stuck to the run for as long as he could Saturday. So if we can take this game plan that we had Saturday, pound the rock, run the clock, hit KLS over the top. It all rhymed, didn't it? Do that right there. You're going to cut down on the turnovers, cut down on the decisions that your quarterbacks have to make, shorten the game because you got a lot of young cats on defense. You don't have a lot of depth. So you shorten down their reps. You're asking less of your defense. And see if you can make the plays and win some games. To me, offensively, that's the move going forward. You just don't. Do I want to see us come out here and sling the rock all over the place? Absolutely. But I don't want to see 4 interceptions or whatever the hell it was versus Cal like we had or versus Arkansas. Like we just don't have the quarterbacks to do that. And we can have the conversation all we want about what Hughes should have done in the portal. But it's too late to have that. I mean, it doesn't matter now. Pavia looked pretty nice. McCoy up there at Syracuse looks pretty nice. So, but it is what it is. And then as far as getting the young guys more reps, let's see how this goes. But I think it's time to get Perry Thompson more involved, and I think you got a bye week to kind of figure out the plays that he can run and run those freaking plays, man. If you want to wait until the end of the season, so where you're not wasting eligibility, a guy like Bryce Kane, start getting him the ball. Whatever you got to do, but if you go up there and you lose to Missouri, you lose to Kentucky, and you're sitting at like 2-5, 2-6, or whatever, then you will definitely hear me come on here and start screaming, "Hey, get the young cats the ball, get the young guys the ball, feed them, and let's get this thing worked out." So, because Malcolm Simmons, we see it right, we see the potential. Cam Coleman, I'm not giving up on him. The potential's there. All the hype was real. It's been a rough start for him, unfortunately, and it happens. It happens to an 18-year-old true freshman. But these guys can play, man. Perry Thompson can play, so let's figure out a way to get the young guys involved to show them that they are the future. And on the quarterback point, if a couple more losses and you don't even have a bowl game to try to fight for, then I absolutely will be on the train of get Hank in there and see what he's got. Because if you get down to the point to where, say you lose to Missouri and Kentucky and you're 2-6. And you've got 4 games left, what would be the benefit of playing Peyton Thorne for those final 4 games? Like, I don't, I mean, maybe you're trying to upset A&M or Bama, sure, but I would rather see what Hank Brown has moving forward. We can kind of figure out the quarterback room. We all believe Auburn's going to be heavy in the portal. Will Walker White be ready next year? I don't know. Deuce Knight's going to be a guy that takes some time to develop. But as if you get a couple more losses, and even if you get a couple wins, as the season winds down, I want to see these young cats get worked more in that rotation. Even on the O-line, like, can you get a guy like DeAndre Carter reps? Is it time to start getting Braden Joyner a solid amount of reps? And he's been playing, but to get him maybe in that starting lineup and figure some things out there. Just to kind of get these young guys ready because they are the future. So That's just kind of where I'm at with the offense. Let's shorten the game down and start getting these young guys involved as the season winds down, especially when you get into those last 3 or 4 games. And if you have some guys that you were worried about burning your red shirt, because if you don't know, you get 4 games now. And I know Bryce has played in 1, so maybe if you get down, to the final 3 games, you play Bryce Kane because you're not worried, because he has those games before that won't cost him his eligibility anyway. And same thing with a guy like DeAndre Carter and guys like that. So just something to look out for there. Defense, man, I don't have a whole lot negative to say about the defense other than we got to create some freaking turnovers, man. We got to create some turnovers. We're either 104th or 109th. I forgot. I read an article this morning. We're either 104th or 109th in creating turnovers on defense. And we're obviously a turnover machine on offense. So for Auburn and for this defense that's been solid, create some short fields. We could have used some turnovers Saturday, right? Like, we didn't turn it over, but we didn't create any, so there was no advantage gained there. Same thing versus Oklahoma. We lost turnover margin 1-0. Well, man, if we could have won that turnover margin, maybe 3-1 or something like that, that's a ball game you probably win. So you've had 2 straight SEC games now where your defense has not created a turnover. So they got to find a way to have more impactful plays. Big sacks on 3rd down. Create some fumbles. Intercept the ball and then return it down to the 10-yard line and set your offense up with a 1st and goal. Or just punch it in. That way we don't have to even worry about the offense coming out there, right? Still some points, man. Still some points there. And then I want to ask you all the question. On special teams, I have this question. And then real quick on defense, same thing. The On3 put out a graphic today. They have their mid-season all-freshman team, and Malik Blockton was on there, and so was Caleb Harris. And those young men have been playing phenomenal. And I think that DeMarcus Riddick, at the end of the season, he will probably be on that list. Jalen Crawford, we've seen his reps go up significantly, and he is balling. So there's a lot of freshmen on that defense that are playing really good football. So same thing I said about the offense, but on the defense are actually contributing a little bit more than the offensive guys. So let's keep working those in there. Caleb Harris, let's get him more reps. Now Marcus Reddick, Malik Blockton, all these guys, let's get them in there. Let's show them, hey, because it's probably not going to be the win-loss record we wanted, right? And you all know how it is in 2024. Teams are going to tamper. I'm begging Auburn to tamper. I'm begging Auburn to tamper for a quarterback. Find a quarterback that you think can run the system and tamper. But some people are going to be calling these guys, okay? They're going to be calling Caleb Harris and all that. Hey, man, you want to come be a winning team? Let's get them the reps. Let's show them that they're the building blocks of what is going to be a good defense moving forward. But I want to ask all those questions about special teams. We all see Towns Magoo struggling, right? And McPherson was taken off of the injury list last week, but didn't play. So you would have to think if he was healthy enough to be taken off the list last week, he could have played. And now you have a bye week, so it's a whole nother week for him to be more ready, right? So here's my question. And I don't even know how exactly I feel about it. I want y'all to help me. If Auburn's in a tight game next Saturday versus Missouri, would you let McPherson kick a crucial field goal? 6 games left. So if you let McPherson play, there goes a year of eligibility. Or would you wait till this road trip is over and you have the home games? Would you wait for your final 4 games to then play McPherson? That way, it doesn't count on his eligibility. Are these 2 games at Missouri and Kentucky worth an entire year of eligibility for Alex McPherson? It's a legitimate question. And it's one that I'm wondering if the coaching staff is asking. If that's why you didn't see McPherson this Saturday. Are they trying to wait till there's just 4 games left and then trot him out there? That way it doesn't waste your eligibility and you can use a red shirt. Because, you know, and I ask that question because if you are in a close game versus Missouri, if it's me, I think I let McPherson go. If he's good to go, if you think he can make the kick, I wouldn't let his first kick be like a 54-yarder or something. But if it's like a 42-yarder that Auburn's got to have versus Missouri, and McPherson's ready to go, and Towns is probably going to miss it. He's shook. I think you got to let McPherson kick it, and you got to try to save the season. Because if you beat Missouri and if you beat Kentucky, you come back home 4-4 with ULM and Vanderbilt. And I know everyone's looking at Vanderbilt like they just slay the giant and all that, and they did, but they also lost to Georgia State. So, like, Vanderbilt's improved and they can get you and all that, but Auburn could beat Vanderbilt. So, Auburn, I'm not saying they will. Y'all know me. Like, I've been very hard. I got to see it to believe it. Auburn could win their next 4 games. And that gets you to 6. And if you're Hugh Freeze, you need some wins. Weigh it, the pro versus con with the McPherson situation. Because you need him. You need him. And I think you might need him next Saturday. But what do you do? Is it worth a year of eligibility? Or does Auburn just say, you know what? We're going to redshirt McPherson, medical redshirt. We'll see you next year, buddy. We're already 2-4. So I don't know. I think it's definitely something to monitor, and I think it's something that the coaching staff is definitely asking themselves. I'm about to get out of here, guys. I did want to get to a couple of more of these comments. Pop says 3 true freshmen had 3 of the top 5 defensive PFF grades this past week. Yeah, when you look at the true freshmen, it's really hard to not be excited. And you match that with you're still going to have another year, Keldrick Falk, and he has developed into everything we thought he would be. And that excites me because I can look at Falk and say development's happening with this coaching staff with the young guys. Falk's the guy that came in. The short is still on our channel. Go back right when we signed with War Report, back like last June. Way back, a year and a half ago at this point. And I said some stuff about Keldrick Falk that at the time sounded crazy because he had never played it down. It all ended up being true, and it's a big testament to this coaching staff. It's one thing to get a high-level 4-star defensive lineman talent like that. It's another thing to develop him and get the full potential. And Keldrick's reached that full potential. So I look at that and I say, well, damn. What if you do that with DeMarcus Reddick? What if that happens with Caleb Harris? What if that happens with Jalen Crawford? And all these guys are already showing signs. I think I can trust this coaching staff. Charles Kelly and Wesley McGriff have a long history of developing talented players, so I trust them to get the best out of Caleb Harris. What is Caleb Harris's best? The ceiling looks pretty high, doesn't it? The ceiling for DeMarcus Reddick looks pretty high, doesn't it? So there are things to look at, especially on the defensive side, and to be excited for. Auburn hasn't had that dynamic ability that DeMarcus Reddick has at linebacker in a very, very long time. That kid's going to do some things. Going to do some things on the Plains. And I'm really, really excited to see it. So that is the one thing about as frustrating as this year has gone. As Blake always says, you got puppies out there. And the thing I like about these puppies is that I can see that they're going to grow up to be big dogs. And I'm not just saying that about them on the field, but off the field. Keldrick Falk, another example. Are you questioning Keldrick Falk's heart? Are you questioning Keldrick Falk's juice? No, you're not. So, the C on the chest, right? The C on the chest can, you can do everything. You're going to do everything right Monday through Friday. But if you show up on Saturday and you don't perform when the lights come on, the C on the chest means nothing. You can't lead a team. Because eventually they're going to look at you and say, shut up, bro. And that might be happening on the offense. Call it like it is. But whenever we took Keldrick Falk to media days and he was named the team captain as a true sophomore, he's showing you why. The play, he's reached it. He's that dude. He's still going to get better, but now he's arrived. Like, he's that guy. He's a freaking problem for you. You got a game plan for 1-5 down there. And he's a guy that I know will not quit. He's a guy that I know that if Auburn loses to Missouri and loses to Kentucky, I don't worry about Keldrick Falk in those next 4 games. I'm not worried about Keldrick Falk if Auburn's 3-7 and down by 17 points to A&M in the second half. I know 15 is going to bring it still. And to be truthful with you, the only guys that I see on the team with that mental makeup are the guy that Hugh Freeze has brought in. Or the young cats. Now, I mean, I love KLS. You know, there's some exceptions with the portal, right? Like, I'm not trying to cast a wide net there and throw everybody in the same category. But for the most part, I think we can all agree the young guys are the dogs. Your quarterback's certainly not a dog. And I think that Walker White's got that in him. A guy that Hugh Freeze brought in from the high school ranks. But quarterback's a different beast. You got to learn the whole offense and all that, right? But there's definitely a lot of the stuff to look at and be excited about for the future when we look at all these next guys. Madison says the C on the chest turns from captain to chump really quick when you consistently and aren't physically and mentally tough. Great point, Madison. And the mentally is the thing here. And the running out of bounds and all that kind of stuff with extra yardage on the field, that's one thing. But, so I do agree with you on the physical point. But the mental part here is just like, well, brother, and again, we're going to talk about this Thursday night, but you're going out here and you're saying things in post games and in these interviews, and then even in the games, we see like it's not mentally, like mentally, you're not that guy. You know, I mean, the game in Baton Rouge last year was the perfect example of Peyton Thorne. I wish it was the game in Arkansas last year where he trucked the dude and turned around. But turns out that's the outlier. That's the one thing we always point at and go, where's that at all the time? Now, look, Peyton Thorne is out there playing. Peyton Thorne is taking some shots. Okay, I'm not saying Peyton Thorne's soft. That's not what I'm saying. Hear me now. He's out there putting his body on the line, and I do appreciate that. But mentally, man, we know it's not there. Mentally, we know it's not there at this point, and his team knows it's not there. So, yeah, moving forward, this would be the challenge I would issue to this team and to these young guys. To the young guys, this is your team. This is your program moving forward. So what do you want it to be about? Y'all all came in. I asked Malcolm Simmons in a Twitter space last year. I said, Malcolm, Hugh Freeze, what was it about Hugh Freeze's message that made you want to come to Auburn? He said, 1, the offense. I see the receivers he's put in the NFL. And 2, he said, I want to make Auburn again. I love the answer. And I love the effort that Malcolm Simmons has put out there on the field. Tough drop Saturday. It's going to happen. Overall, he's played really well. Been the best of the freshman wide receivers, right? You can't argue that. Makes plays on special teams. I love watching 11 play football. I really do. You guys got to take over this team now. Y'all were the future of this program. And the guys that can't get right, that want to clamp up on the 4th and goals, 4th and 1, got to have it, 4th quarter, running from the moment, they can't be a part of the program. They can't be part of the program moving forward. And good teams and great programs are led by the leaders of the team. It's not just the coach, right? Look at 2010 Auburn. I know it's easy to say all you had to do was snap the ball to the 6'5", 260-pound quarterback that ran a 4.40. And I get it. That helps. But that team had leaders, bro. Josh Bynes, Cam, that whole O-line. There were leaders on that team. Zach Etheridge. 2004. Campbell, Ronnie, Rosegreen, Carlos. Even the 2017, 2019, the last decent Auburn teams we saw. Leadership. Derek Browns, Marlon Davidsons. That didn't let the crap go. And that held everybody to a higher standard. That's what's got to happen. This young nucleus that's way more talented than the old guys for the most part. There's outliers, again, KLS, Jarquez, that kind of thing. But the guys that are the future of this program take over this program this bye week. Bring an energy to practice every day that everyone doesn't have a choice. Your enthusiasm, your juice is so obvious and overflowing that either they get on board or they get left behind. Because we're sick of it, right? Enough is a freaking enough. And we all deserve better. I look at a team like Florida State. They got 25,000 people in the stands. And that happened before they were 1-5 or whatever they are now. They lost a couple games. Ghost town, Tallahassee on Saturday. Not us. We show up. We do our part. So I want to see the young group, man, take over this team, take over this program, and set the standard moving forward. The biggest thing Auburn can fix, in my opinion, is the mental makeup. Stop pressing. Stop being scared of the moment. Embrace it. Embrace it. You're Division I athletes. You're playing at one of the 13 programs in college football that have 800 wins. Don't take that lightly. Don't take the 90,000 people showing up and cheering you on no matter how bad it gets lightly. Respect it and lift it up. Auburn people are not scared of the moment. Auburn's never been scared of the moment. Until now. And it's this infectious disease, this culture of losing that has permeated that building and it's soaked into the very grass in Jordan Hare Stadium. And it's got to stop. It's got to stop. There's a bunch of winners on this roster. They got to find out how to come together and be winners collectively as a unit. Because they're not going to do it individually. And the biggest thing that you can do is next Saturday versus Missouri in that moment, step up and make the play. Somebody say, Coach, I want the ball. I want it. And then make the play. And watch this thing start to turn around. I love y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with me tonight as I roll solo. Blake, I hope everything is okay, buddy. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We will be back Thursday. It's War Damn Eagle. I love y'all. See y'all on the next one.